Good evening, everybody. Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome back to Games in Gutenberg. Let's play and narrate. Tonight, I've got a cute little game called Cateau. It is free on Steam. You can find the link to the game below in the description. Here's a quick read-through of what this game is about. This game was developed and published by Lemon Curd Games in 2018. The award-winning game Cateau is a visually, musically, and narratively beautiful experience. Enter the enchantingly atmospheric streets of Paris, getting to know truly distinct characters while every choice you make, whether big or small, carries weight and consequence in this little adventure. And surely enough, we already have a lot of atmosphere for this game, and we are only on the title page. So, thanks again for joining, and let's get into it. What is your name? Let's choose Max. Paris is truly a sight to behold. I can't get used to it, even having lived here for most of my life. The Seine parting the city in two. The smell of baked goods in the morning, the buildings filled with history. Even so, living here alone could maybe be a bit mundane, but I don't have to. I share an apartment with my old friend Roselle, who studies veterinary medicine of some sort. I don't get to spend much time with her as my job's working the evening shift at a small newspaper. Speaking of which, I ought to let her know that I'll be heading to the office for the night in a bit. I knock on her door, waiting a few seconds before entering. Hey Ro, how are you doing? I'm alright, Max. And you? All good. Just wanted to let you know I'll be leaving for work in a few. I just ask her about today. So, what have you been up to? Not much. School? Yeah. Worked from home. Well, let's ask her if she wants to go somewhere this weekend. You know what? It's really nice outside, and we haven't even gone out for a coffee together. We should totally do so this weekend when we're both free. Well, it has been a while. You know you want to. Some fresh air would feel nice. Maybe. I might have to study, so no promises. She glances at the clock above the door behind me. Shouldn't you be going soon? You'd wind up late in not too long, right? I'm good on time, actually, but it might be time to break it off. You might be right. I'm off then. I'll pass by the baker's too. Is there anything you'd like? No, I'm good. Alright then, see you. I leave her to her own and head for the door. Before leaving, I pat my pockets, realizing that I'm forgetting something. Bro, have you seen my keys? The ones with the cock? Have you looked in the kitchen? I check and find them on the countertop. I always forget to check there. Good thing she still keeps tabs on me, even if things are different now. Thanks. Bye. Man, how lucky am I to have a view like this going to work? I think to myself as my feet patter against the rounded stones of the old towpath. And just want to make a quick note on the side. You can see right here the little Nyan cat with a lemon. Nice little Easter egg right there. And I'm guessing that is Cateau. In the shade by the wall I spot a cat, looking every bit as scruffy as the water looks serene. Whoa. Oh, Roselle loves this if she were here. She always used to chase after cats, patiently gains their trust, and befriends them like some kind of cat whisperer. Whenever successful, which was almost always, she'd memorialize the occasion by having a picture taken, like a big game hunter of old posing with her quarry. I kind of miss that side of her. Maybe a picture of my own would remind her of the good old days. The thought stops me in my tracks, and I study the cat in question. It's just sitting there, gazing over the water as if saying, "Yep, I rule this place." Which, in fairness, it probably did by the look of things. Looking at the time, I notice I have plenty of it. I could at least try to get her a picture. What could possibly go wrong after all? But how should I approach? Let's not sneak up on the cat. Let's let it know that we're here. Better take it slow here. Slow and steady wins the race after all. And after all, I'm not the sorceress cat whisperer Roselle. I would hate to spook it now, from what was clearly even to me a favorite spot of theirs. Not that this cat looks particularly skittish. It has a very well proud bearing. Hello there, kitty. I speak softly while closing the distance. When I'm merely a few meters away, it gives me a casual glance out of the corner of its eye. I get the idea and stop. Satisfied with my response, it resumes watching over the still water. I could easily just take a picture of the cat's back and call it a day, but my professional pride berates me for even considering such a notion. It may not be the cuddliest cat in the world, but I will get a good photo one way or another. We could probably wait a bit. The cat seems to rather enjoy the view of the water. Ever so slowly, I walk up to the edge, maintaining respectful distance to the cat and sitting down with my legs crossed. The late summer's evening sun shrouding the city in a pink glow, not even the faintest breeze disrupting the mirror-like surface of the water. I glance at the cat. It's basking in the sun with closed eyes, savoring the warmth. The moment is here. With careful, deliberate movements, I fish my phone out of my pocket and lean in for a picture. The picture perfectly captures the serenity of the scene. Not wishing to disturb the cat any longer, I get up and walk away. Oh wow, that is a nice looking picture right there. The reply comes through so fast, it feels like I got it before I even sent the message. That's a gorgeous photo. That cat looks like a stray. How did you manage to get so close? Tell me. I just took my time with it. I took a page from your book. Gotta learn from the best. The best?
Wouldn't go that far, but thanks. Did it take long to get to that point?
Not really. It didn't seem to mind me being in the vicinity, as long as it could keep track of me and I did nothing hasty.
Strays are often kinda chill if you don't bother them. Be careful though. They can be unpredictable.
Kinda got that vibe, yeah. I will be.
Almost forgot. Thanks for the picture. I think I'll make that my new home screen for my phone.
Good chat, girl. But I have to hurry up now. Lost more time than I thought here. Well, there's only one chance, or one choice. I have to go to work. And it's a cat clock. Work went by as usual, and it was over in no time. Dawn is lurking around the corner as I'm heading for the bakery. All the little shops are closed, but the bakers are already at their battle stations, churning out their goods for the breakfast rush and the coming day. Thanks to having friends in high places, also known as the owner, I'm allowed to sneak in through the back door and get my grubby hands on bread early. Roselle said she didn't want any, but I'll get her some in case she changes her mind. Besides, you can never have too much bread. Whoa. As I leave the bakery with my precious baked goodness, I notice a cardboard box next to the door, which apparently is the residence of a charmingly fat cat sleeping inside. Clearly, it's being cared for to some extent, as the floor is draped with a cozy-looking blanket and somebody's made it a little roof to keep the rain out. Is it a new tenant on the street, or am I selectively blind and it's always been here? I can't recall. Looking around, the nearby area is strangely littered with glass jars too. Inspired by the success of the earlier cat encounter, I decide to add to win further glory by attaining a second triumphant moment, one to make Roselle, the cat whisperer, proud. I drop my bag and crouch down next to the sleeping cat, or what I thought was a sleeping cat. It opens an eye and looks down at me lazily. It's looking at me lazily. Let's wait a bit. Alright, cat. Make your move. I say with the exaggerated voice of a movie gunslinger, waiting to let the cat take the first action, not wishing to pressure it in any way. In a shocking display of Herculean effort, the cat opens a second eye and looks at me with a steady gaze. I can't help but to feel like it's trying to assess me. Playing along for a quiet laugh to myself, I strike a pose, showing my good side. Well, if such a thing exists. A few seconds pass before it gets up, lacking any semblance of urgency. It jumps down with the grace of a drunken baboon, landing on its feet seemingly more by blind luck than any skill on its part. It comes over to me, rubbing up against my legs with a quiet purr. Nope, I cannot purr slowly and nicely. Well, aren't you a friendly little thing? Giving it a few pats along the back before I go, I start to make my way home to that bed which I am now longing for. At least, that was the theory. A very persistent furry friend demands more attention, constantly getting in my way, protesting my attempts to leave very efficiently indeed. I cannot deny that it's a very charming thing. As it is, I can't really get a good shot of the cat. It's either at a bad angle or too close to the camera. I need to gain some space. Let's stand up, see what happens. I give the cat a quick pet on the head before standing up, deftly fishing my phone out of my pocket. As the cat strokes itself against my legs a few times before looking up at me with those big eyes, letting out a meek meow before continuing to circle me like the world's cuddliest shark. Making a clicking sound with my tongue to have a look up again, it sits down on its back legs by my feet and rests its front paws on my leg. I snap a quick photo cuddling those cheeks again. Never have I ever felt so compelled to cuddle with a cat, but this one is honestly irresistibly charming. I think it knows it too, this sneaky thing. I stay for a few more minutes, adhering to the cat's demands before I have to tear myself away and get going. I can only imagine the pain it would have been to remove Roselle from this cat if she had been there. I'd have had to carry her on my shoulders or something. It'd probably been easier to get a bigger cardboard box to place next to the cats and let her move in. I chuckle at the thought as I head home. After captioning the picture the elusive Parisian climbing cat, I send it to Roselle.
Elusive? Looks like the opposite to me.
Yeah, social little thing. Or, not so little, everything is relative.
Guess it must be used to hanging out with people. Where did you find it?
In the alley by the bakery. They've made it a little home by the back door and take care of it.
That explains a lot. Strays don't need to be very forthcoming, like that one from before. I look so cuddly. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome. Noticing my battery running low, I let her know that I'll be home soon before stuffing it back into my pocket with a smile on my face. What a day. Keychain rattling in my hand, I unlock the door, shutting it behind me. Dumping the bag on the floor by the wall and trudging on over to the kitchen for a bite to eat before bed. I trundle past Rose's door. Shut, as always. Just a faint blue light leaking through the door frame. She must be on the laptop again. Finally, arriving at the counter, I have myself a few pieces of fresh loaf before dragging myself into the living room and to the TV. Flopping into the couch, I watch whatever happens to be on, lazily munching away. There's a documentary about life on the African savannah. It'd be just hustling. After a few minutes of deliberation, I get up, going over to Rose's room, and gently knock on the door. Hey Ro, you up?
Yeah, Max? What is it?
Well, just ask her to come watch TV. Just ask her straight up. Can I come in?
Sure.
Why don't you come hang out with me? There's a wildlife special on. There's lions and everything, just like we always used to catch. There's a few moments of silence.
I'd rather not. I want to be alone.
Knowing when not to stay oversteam, I wish her a good night before gently closing her door and heading back to the couch. And we'll just go to sleep. Never having been one for sitting around, come afternoon I treat myself to a walk. Some might think that walking is a bit of a peculiar treat, but in a city like Paris, it really is. There's always something beautiful to see, something exciting to discover. I've been walking around the city virtually every day for years, and it still never bores me. On the contrary, it helps dislodge writer's block and distract me from other woes. One of the streets and spots I always come back to, though, is this old little street passing by the small park. The trees happen to make for a great spot to just get away from the sun on a hot day, an added bonus. Suddenly, I spot an orange fuzz in the periphery, and I instinctively know it's a cat. It's funny. These things that you notice once you're actively looking for them. Well, it's either that or I've been afflicted with cat-engineered nanomachines altering my perception, which in all honesty is a touch unlikely. Ah, look at you. Rather than a fully grown cat, this one's a mere kitten, playing with the leaves beneath a tree. Playtime is disrupted, however, when a pedestrian tramples by, startling the little creature. After having taken cover by the tree for a while, it tentatively returns to its game, soon blissfully distracted. I'd love to join in, but I don't want to frighten it again either. Well, let's Oh, it's a kitten, so why not? Let's sneak closer. If it's unaware of my presence, then surely it can't be scared, right? Could be wrong. Whenever the kitten's distracted by its play, I approach with soft, quiet steps, gradually making my approach. At a short distance away, the kitten stops, looking directly at me, which would likely indicate that it's now aware of me. I avoid looking directly at it, acting as if I don't know it's there at all. The kitten doesn't resume playing, but it doesn't appear to be terrified or even particularly bothered by me either. I just try to build its trust. Let's tell it about our day. Let's play with it using a stick. Well, it's obviously a rather playful sort. Maybe that helped me befriend it. The tree beside us has kindly enough dropped a twig on the ground that looks like it could double as a cat toy. Picking it up, I give it a try, drawing a figure of 8 in the air. But I've never played with a cat. Sure, it can't be too complicated, but how should I go about it? Still a question that needs answering. Let's do large swaying motions. That's nice and calm. While I've never owned a cat, I have spent a few minutes here or there on the internet, and as a as an inevitability seen a cat video or two. While I didn't have a crumpled piece of paper on a string to bounce around above the cat, the twig might do as a substitute. I leaned forward a little to better position it above the cat, trying to make enticing motions with it to get the attention of the cat, and excited to play. However, it just lays there in a soft orange ball, big eyes looking up at me with trepidation. Yeah, it looks pretty scared. At that moment, I realized that I must look absolutely massive, looming over the little fellow like that. Quickly, but not too quick as to avoid startling it, I move away to give it some space, no longer making such an imposing figure. While my current stance is uncomfortable in the extreme, I managed to at least rouse the kitten from that fearful state. It lacks the confidence to have a go at the twig, but follows it with curious eyes. Seeming to have done right by the kitten, I get a picture for her before saying my goodbyes and heading off, hoping to make a better impression next time. As reliable as Old Faithful, it doesn't take long for Ro to respond to a cat.
Cute. Where did you run into this one?
The street by the park. It had been spooked by someone rushing past.
Looks pretty relaxed for such a small kitten that's just been scared. Must have done a good job getting near it.
Just applied a bit of common sense. It didn't play along, but it seemed curious.
Understandable. Probably just a bit apprehensive. I'd bet it'd be more playful otherwise.
I'll try again next time I see it, if I have the opportunity. Anyway, I'll be home soon. See you there.
Sounds good to me.
When I get home, I enter Ro's room. I just wanted to let you know, I'll be visiting the bakery lunchtime tomorrow. I need to grab a cake for Rico from work's birthday. If you want to come along, I'm sure the cat will be there.
I think I'd rather stay here. They say it's going to be very hot out tomorrow. But if you do see it, you know the rule, right?
Right. When you see a cat for a second time, you must name it. I remember. I'll head out again and go to work soon.
Good luck.
When down by the canal, I keep an eye out for the scruffy cat, but I don't run into it again. So I go to work. Work turns out as usual, pretty uneventful. After some well-deserved sleep, I head out to grab that cake. To be honest, I'm more excited at the chance of seeing the cat again than to celebrate my coworker. I should get the cat something. It looks like one that would appreciate something edible. I take a quick detour to a grocery store, and I quickly find myself in the small pet aisle. I have no idea what the cat likes, and the picture of the jars littered around its bed pop into my mind. Maybe they had contained something it liked, but I can't quite remember what label it had. What should I buy? Olives. Really? Olives? Normal cat traits, shrimp. I think I remember seeing some olives. Oop. Is really out there. Why not? It kind of looked like an olive jar. No, it had been an olive jar, but it feels like a very weird thing to give a cat. Let's see what happens. On the other hand, Ro likes them, and she is approximately half cat. So maybe. I find a jar of sliced green olives. They feel like a suitable size. As a backup, I buy a small package of cat treats as well. Wouldn't hurt my chances. When I reach the bakery, I find the cat resting in its makeshift bed. Good afternoon, kitty. The cat raises its head and lets out a heavy, drawn-out yawn, exposing a line of long teeth. It blinks slowly at me as I reach out with my hand to pet its head. Gazelle sends her regards. That was way more ominous than I intended. She has sent me here with the intention of gifting you a name. What will you name this cat? Let us name him Garfield, of the Andrew variety. How do you feel about Garfield? I think it suits you. Garfield meows. I'll take that as a vote in favor of my suggestion. But back to the issue at hand. Will Garfield enjoy the olives? After a brief struggle, I get the lid of the jar, the characteristic pop drawing Garfield's attention. Getting one out of the jar, I offer it to the cat. Garfield strokes its cheek against my hand. It flops onto its back, tapping the olive with its paw. I bring the olive closer and it taps at it again, like a food critic inspecting a meal's qualities. Then, with a smooth, slow motion, it takes the olive and eats the whole thing. I never would have believed cats would like these things, but Garfield just ate one. The cat sniffs around, scanning the air for more olives to devour. When it realizes that there's certainly more in this jar of mine, it pulls out every trick in the Hustler Cat's handbook. But I have a better idea. If it enjoys these things so much, why not make a Garfield work for them? There you go. Cat exploitation. Now, where should I attempt to teach Garfield? Sit pretty. Or not, okay. that was a not happy face. Can I rewind? Oh goodness, what was that? Oh, it rewinds all the way to to the beginning of the scene. Alright, well, that was horrible. Alright. Name it. Garfield. I think it suits you. Garfield meows. I take that as a vote, but okay, let's fast forward a bit. Alright. Let's see if we can teach it how to high five. Ah, there you go, nice. Garfield has already tapped my hand with its paw to get its snack, so I feel like the basics are there. I enclose the muscle in my hand and extend it. Garfield sniffs my hand and tries to reach it, but when it can't, it sits down and reaches out its paw. When it touches my hand, I reward the cat with its treats. I repeat the action, and Garfield, clearly at least almost as quick thinking as spherical, catches on to the intricacies of tap my hand, get tasty food. However, whatever is worth doing is worth doing properly. High fives are no exception. I place another between my fingers, leaving my palm empty. Garfield still taps it, gets the prize, before waiting patiently whilst I reload with traits. This time, I try to say I-5 before extending my hand, then removing the bounty from sight. Garfield pats the hand again, gazing expectantly upon it, only to be surprised when my other hand is rewarding it. We repeat this a number of times, and while I doubt that my voice command does much, as the cat most likely just takes the visual cue, I'm very proud of the results. I pat Garfield on the head, infusing my tone with an affectionate lilt as I praise the cat. However, there are other factors to consider, such as Garfield seemingly not lacking food, and that I might end up overfeeding the little fellow. Not so little fellow. A cuddle couldn't do any harm though. Cuddling a stray cat, okay. Let's scratch his cheeks. Those buffy cheeks look fit for a good scratching. Using the tip of my finger, I gently scratch its cheek before moving to scratching it just behind the jaw. Garfield clearly approves, a humming purr radiating from a very pleased cat. It angles its head to give me better access, and the scratching continues for a few moments before it turning its head to the other side, and the process is repeated. Garfield's purrs slowly grow more quiet until it drifts off into a nap, its head resting against my hand. Ever so carefully, I lower its head onto a bundle of the blanket bedding, succeeding in doing so without waking Garfield up. I realized that I had already spent much more time with Garfield than I had intended, and I need to pick up that cake already. Hesitantly, I gave Garfield a last pet on the head before saying my goodbyes and escaping into the bakery. It's bustling with more activities than usual. When the owner scurries by, I receive the great news. Business has been going well and they were moving to a new, bigger place not too far away. I congratulate her, apologize for not having much time to chat before taking my leave, cake in hand. I'm home. Unlike the usual silence, Ro calls for me.
Max, can you come over for a moment?
When had she last been the one to call out to me? That's something I haven't considered being a possibility in a very long time. I walk over to her room. Yes? Roselle plays with her hands as if she is unsure of how to bring up the subject.
Thank you for the photos. They were nice. However...
Yes?
That kitten... Was there anyone with it?
No. It was alone, I think.
Isn't that strange? For a kitten to be all alone, I mean.
I guess. But it had a collar, so it might just live nearby? She doesn't look convinced. You know what? I'll see if I spot it on my walk and make sure.
That would be great.
Well, do you want to come and see it? Come on, Roselle. You cleaned up well. You cleaned your room. Your blind is up. Let's go and find that kitten. I can see how she considers it. how her brows furrow and her eyes trace the crevices of the floorboards.
It might get scared with yet another stranger around. Best you go alone.
Scared or frightening it? That's not an excuse I've ever heard from Roselle, the great cat whisperer. Maybe this case is a little more delicate, but it's not like the kitten trusts me either. However, if she doesn't want to, I cannot force her. I'll just do my best then. Wish me luck. Bon chance. Empowered by her blessing, I head out. Just before leaving, I put the cake in the fridge and make my way to the old pedestrian street again. I'm surprised to see the kitten sitting next to the tree, just like he has the other day. It feels a little strange to find such a young cat out here all alone again. I would like to have a closer look at its color, as it might have a number or an address on it. As the kitten is sitting next to the tree trunk looking at the passerby. It looks healthy, so somebody must be feeding it at least. I really hope that I'm just overthinking it. From our last meeting, I know I should be careful when I approach it. No sudden movements or sounds that will scare it. Having made my approach, I speak to it softly to get its attention. Hey little friend, we need a proper name for you too, don't we? You look kind of like a bell or a creamsicle. Let's call you Bella. Bella, what do you think of that? The kitten glances at me with big eyes, which I decide to be an approval. This reminds that I still have cat treats in my pocket. Maybe Bella will like them. But I'm not the only one with eyes for a kitten. A kid separates from his mother's hand to chase the kitty. Bella runs away, but in my direction. I can't let it get away. I feel like if I stop the kitten, it'll probably scratch me. Maybe we'll follow it. Sure. It's probably for the best to let it run. The kid's caught by his mother, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. I follow the kitten around the corner and find it hiding in a doorway. Its body is pressed into the corner and its eyes watches me carefully. The ordeal has got me pretty close. Maybe I have a chance here. Let's throw a treat to it. Don't frighten it too much, I guess. Well, there's no tricks to use for play, and even if there were, I'm not sure that would be a good idea. Maybe a bite to eat would help the little creature feel at ease. This situation isn't exactly what I'm used to, but I believe in the versatile powers of food, and that is true. Food unites a lot of people. I crouch down and toss a treat carefully so it lands next to the kitten. It snaps its eyes on the new object and sniffs the air. When it's convinced it won't move again, it sneaks up on the treat and eats it. Nom nom. When finished, it sniffs around the ground for more. I throw another one and the projectile makes Bella shy away before quickly returning to eat the food. I throw the treat closer and closer to me so Bella can get within reach. However, Bella becomes aware of that and grows more careful approaching the treats, backing away when it has grabbed it. It's a slow process, but I get the kitten close enough. Let's not just grab it. I think that's a bad idea. I slowly pick out a few traits and place them on my palm. I extend my hand slightly in front of me, making sure the kitten can see them. Bella looks at them but hesitates, so I throw one of them halfway between us. The kitten crouches down and sneaks up to the trait, carefully watching me. After snacking on the nearest trait, it looks curiously at my hand, scratching its head out. It takes a reluctant step towards me and I have to stay completely still. Movementless, like a statue, a gargoyle on Notre Dame. Or maybe not a gargoyle, they come to life, right? As Bella gets closer, it grows braver and walks up to the last steps to smell my hand. I feel its whiskers stick on my fingertips, but I stay still as the mountain. Bella takes the first trait, and I can clearly hear it snap as it bites into it. One after another, the treats disappear until my hand is empty. I know Bella won't like it, but I still have to grab it to check its color. My hand eases closer and picks the kitten up. I quickly press it against my chest to stabilize it. Bella tenses up as soon as I touch it, but feels slightly calmer after a few seconds in my bosom. There you are, such a good kitty. I try to soothe the kitten and gently strokes it with my thumb. When it is calm, I place it on my lap to check the color. Bella meows, and I find a phone number that I write down on my phone. When that is done, I loosen my grip and stroke the kitten gently to make it forget my manhandling. Then I have to let go, and Bella scurries away, but I don't think we are, back to square one. I leave some treats on the ground in case it comes back, and I leave. As soon as I get home, I walk into Rose's room. I got a number! And Bella had one on its collar. Oh, and I followed your rule. I named it. I also forgot to mention that I named the bakery cat as well. It's Garfield.
What are we waiting for? Call it.
I type in the number and let the signals go by. Ring ring. They go on for longer and longer.
No answer?
Doesn't appear so. I'll have to try again later.
Well, keep me updated.
I will. Go to work again. I tried to call a few more times. Eventually I give up and head out for work. There are slow news days, and then there are dead news days. I need to get something published today, or my boss will get on my case. I might as well have a stroll and see if I can at least find something worth writing about. The city, beautifully lit in the dark as I find my way down to the towpath, is probably one of the prettiest spots around here. Another advantage it has going for it is the fact that for some arcane reason, almost nobody ever goes there, rendering it a quiet place for such to be had. Hang on a moment, what's that sound? My pondering is interrupted by aggressive growling and a tremendous noise near the bridge. My curiosity is getting the better of me, and I silently walk over to check the source of the racket. In the glow of lamplight, there's a group of cats staring at each other, hissing and swatting their paws. 4 of them seem to be working together against a somewhat larger, rougher looking one. Could it be the same one from the other day? It looks like it, and it appears to be in trouble. It can probably take care of itself, right? To interfere is a sure way to get all kinds of debilitating diseases. I hang back and wait for the confrontation to resolve itself. They fly at each other in a blurred frenzy of claws and bites, but a few moments later, the upstarts go out and flee, leaving a lone cat torn but triumphant. Satisfied that it has indeed won the feud, it huffs, weary but proud in posture. I sneak closer, but it doesn't look like the cat needs or wants my help. It sits down, tending to its wounds and giving itself time to rest and recover. This cat can clearly manage on its lonesome. Roselle could certainly learn a thing or two from this fellow. Another certainty is that every great brawler ought to have a nickname of some sort to go along with their reputation. What will you name this cat? I shall call you Napoleon. Right, Napoleon, you run this town. Napoleon starts walking and I follow along at a comfortable distance. We follow the canal, a part of the city I'm very familiar with. I glance at the cat, who has some minor cuts and the fur is even more of a mess than usual, but it doesn't seem to bother it at all. What bothers me though is the extensive littering for one, and the fact that I have no idea what this cat eats, come to think about it. Let's offer it some food, see what happens. Oh, no. That's a angry face. I still have a few treats left, so I fish them out of my pocket and crouch down, offering them from my hand. Napoleon looks at me with a spark of suspicion glinting in the eye, not making any move to approach. I throw a treat between us in case it just doesn't want to get closer to me. It walks up to the treat with a scowling expression and swats it dismissively into the water below. Note to self, Napoleon really doesn't like treats. Well, probably not gonna touch the cat. Let's skip some treats over the water. Well, if cats don't like these things, why even bother lugging them about? I weigh a treat in my hand, feeling its weight and shape. I calculate the perfect skip toss in my mind before reeling back, my whole body following into the score, and I unleash the treat with flawless timing. It cuts through the air with a purpose, its destination preordained, and the outcome already determined. With a graceful arc, it drops out of the air, maybe 2 feet away, hits the surface, and sinks with an undignified plop. And Napoleon does show signs of amusement, and thusly encouraged, I repeat the procedure until I run out of sweets. The last one managing to skip maybe a centimeter or so. While certainly not the smoothest of friendships, I get the feeling that Napoleon is at least somewhat less indifferent towards me. Napoleon and I will have to part ways for now, but I'm looking forward to meeting it again. Once back at work, inspiration hits me. I could always write a little piece about the issue of abandoned cats around the city. After all, I never noticed before, so bringing it to light might result in some good. Returning home in the morning, I'm met with a surprise. I look through my pockets for my keys, only to find none. I must have dropped them somewhere. With resignation, I knock steadily on the door. A short while later, Roselle opens up with a surprised look on her face. She looks tired. I'm not sure if I woke her up or not, however. I dropped my keys. Oh. I have to go looking for them after I have some time to sleep. Are you going anywhere?
No, not really.
With that, we separate into our respective rooms. I shall go to sleep. I go to the bakery during the afternoon this time around, and the bakery won't be open in the weekend due to the move. So this will be the last time I go to this alley. During the walk, I'm sure to keep my eyes peeled in case I drop my keys here, but I'm fairly sure I didn't. I enter the bakery and I'm almost feeling a little nostalgic as I look around. It won't change my routines that much to go to the new place, but I'm a little worried about Garfield. I ask the owner about it when she hands me my bread. Will you bring the cat along with you to your new place? As the owner gently shakes her head. There is no good place for it to stay at the new bakery, and we can't let it inside. Isn't there anyone who can take it home then? We have tried that, but it got really angry and anxious when we tried to carry it away. It really likes it with us, but when push comes to shove, we have no choice but to force it to. I'm sure it'll work out somehow. Have you seen a pair of keys, by the way? I've dropped them somewhere. I haven't, but I'm sure to be on the lookout. The owner smiles reassuringly and he continues on with work. I leave the bakery feeling ill at ease. I walk up to Garfield and I notice that it looks a bit uneasy, but cheers up some when it sees me. He's looking smug. As the cat must know that something's going on. I should at least try to comfort it some before I go. Let's pet it. Cateau's the best cure for anxiety. I sit down next to his little bed and reach out my hand to caress its head. Garfield closes its eyes, purring, and we sit like that for a while. We can't leave Garfield without anyone caring for it. It feels weird to think of the cat being anywhere else, but here in the back alley, this is its home. I keep a close eye on the cat. It's looking much happier after some cuddling. A thought starts to play in my mind. What if I could take Garfield home with me? Garfield seems like a cat that would like most people. Sure, that might be a presumption, but I feel we have a little bit of a special bond. I've gotten better with cats, I think, and I know Roselle owned cats in the past, so we would be able to care for it. Our apartment is big enough, and my income isn't too bad. It could be doable. No, it's entirely doable. Let's try it out. It will depend on if Garfield likes me or the bakery more entirely. Garfield inches closer to my hand and snuggles close to it. I stroke it gently with my free hand. Let's spoil you, why not? I roll up my sleeves and crack my knuckles, a quiet joke to myself. The charm blitzes on and there's no escaping it. I make Garfield a happy and not so little cat. I begin by scratching behind the cheeks. I run my fingers through the thick fur and give it a scratch from the ears to the chin. I move my hands down to the chest and neck and digging into the fluffy chest hair. When I scratch the fur over the shoulders, I notice its front paws close quite under it in comfort. The cat rolls over, exposing its tummy, and I give Garfield a proper belly rub. Garfield must feel spoiled to bits after that. The cat remains on its back, eyes closed, but then gives me a glance. The look seems to say, "Oh, you finished already? Weren't you supposed to be feeling bad?" Garfield chases after my hand, demanding to receive more pets, even though I've been at it for minutes already. Minutes? Just minutes? Man, if you just doing it for minutes, that ain't good enough. When I don't immediately comply, it looks at me with those puppy eyes. Shouldn't it be kitten eyes? Garfield certainly seems to want to keep me around, but is that enough for it to be willing to follow me home? I'd like to give the cat a little test to see. Let's walk away and call for it to follow. Would Garfield voluntarily follow me out of this alley if I just called for it? Could hardly hurt to try. I give the cat a last pat on its head and then walk away, not stopping before I reach the next street. Not that far off a distance really, but it can be for a small cat. What about a fat cat? I make eye contact with Garfield that eyes me curiously. Without breaking it, I crouch down and reach out with my hand. "Come here, Garfield." I click my tongue, and the cat's ears respond, homing in on the sound. I call again, and after some hesitation, it makes its way down from its bed. It trots lazily over to me, swaying with every step. I offer my hand for petting. Before accepting it, Garfield glares at me, resentful of me for making it walk all the way over here. But still, it did it, and I'm very proud of it. I snuggle it properly, and then comes the real test. I place my hands over Garfield's body and pick the cat up. Gosh, it's heavy. Yeah, Garfield looks like a pretty fat cat right there. I shuffle it around so I have a good hood around it, and the cat strokes its face against mine. Seems like Garfield passed the test. Maybe it was I that did. I have to tell the owner and the bakers that I'll take Garfield with me. I hesitate at the door, but I don't want to drop the cat now, so I walk in with it with my arms. The owner will have to excuse me, but it's a special occasion. The owner's eyes open in surprise when she sees us.
Well, would you look at that? Seems like our little charmer has been charmed itself.
It seems like it doesn't mind coming with me, if that is fine with you guys.
Bien sûr. We couldn't be happier that they find the proper home. And knowing it's you, it makes me feel even better. Does Roselle know about this?
No, I'm just hoping she won't mind. The owner lets out a huge laugh.
I can't imagine she ever would. Say hello from me.
I will. And I will keep you all updated on Garfield. That's what I call it, by the way.
Garfield? Hey, it's a suiting name.
And Garfield and I bid our farewell to the old bakery and the alley. I never found my keys, so they must be down by the canal. First, however, I must break the news to Roselle. Let's message her. I don't want to cause her an heart attack, so it's best I warn her. Hey Roselle, you know that the bakers are moving out. They were looking for someone to take Garfield, and I might have agreed on it. I'm coming home with it right now. I checked the phone a few times, and finally it gets marked as red. No reply. Roselle, leave me on red. The door home is unlocked, and I kick off my shoes before heading to Roselle's room. I reach for the handle, but it's bitten to it as Roselle opens the door for me, letting me in.
How is Garfield?
Fine, I think. Didn't complain at all the entire way here. You didn't reply, so I don't know yet. Is it fine for you to let Garfield live with us?
Of course. Can let it stay on the street. But we have to get it a few things.
Yes, I was thinking of heading out to grab the necessities now.
You need to buy diet food, a litter box, and scented litter. You know what? I can write you a list.
That would be great. Could you help Garfield make itself at home, and I'll get it now?
Sure.
I hand her the cat, and she burrows her face in its fur, taking in the moment. Garfield is a street cat, and you're burying your face in a street cat. Alright. Garfield looks quite comfortable too. They probably want some time to themselves, so I head out. After a few moments, I receive a very long list of things I have to find. I manage to find nearly all of them and drop them off at home before heading down to the canal to look for my keys. I can't stay without them for much longer. As I get to the topaz, it's already becoming dark. I'm placing my hopes on that the setting sun will hit the keys just right and make them shine up. I keep my eyes peeled on the ground, making my way back to my workplace along the canal. A hunch makes me look back, and surely I spot Napoleon following me with silent steps. I wonder for how long it has been doing that. Or why? Pourquoi? Possibly to keep an eye on anyone in its stuff. As the cat keeps stalking me a slight distance and I ignore it the best I can, my keys are top priority right now. I walk the entire towpath without stopping. I guess I'll walk back, check some of the busier areas more carefully. I spot that Napoleon has stopped following me and is playing with something next to the edge of the canal. Good that it's keeping itself entertained. I have a feeling it's playing with my keys. I'm a bit curious to what would interest Napoleon. If my keys can wait this long, they can wait a little longer. The cat is sitting right next to the water and is poking at something casually, almost like it doesn't want to admit that it's playing. When I get closer, I get a better look at the object. Wait. Those are my keys Napoleon is playing with. I can't believe the cat managed to find them. I don't have the time to take a sigh of relief before the cat pokes the keys so that they inch closer to their watery doom. Napoleon is toying with you, human. I must do something quick to prevent a catastrophe from happening. Let's try to keep his attention. I reach out my hand in front of me, trying to mentally keep the cat still, and that's probably how you're gonna get scratched. I hunch slightly and walk closer slowly, careful not to agitate the cat. It looks at me momentarily before losing interest and looks down at the keys again. Now then, Napoleon, let's not be hasty. I watch as they paw close in on the bundle. Napoleon! I leap forward, but it's too late. I watch the keys tumble over the edge and I hear the splash echo in my head. Oh. That was a bad decision, okay? Without a moment's hesitation, I throw my bag with valuables to the side and run for the water. I pass Napoleon and jump feet first into the canal. The cold water hits me, and I swim up to the surface to orient me. The water is completely black. Yeah, it's disgusting. How can I possibly find my keys in this? My hand hits something sharp, and I recoil. I take a look at what it can be, and it's my keys. Oh, you were lucky, brother. I keep myself afloat, dumbfounded for a moment before I grab them. Oh, right! I have a cork as my keychain. I must call my mom and thank her for this gift when I get home. I pull myself up to the edge and is met with the scornful face of the cat. It would appear some water had splashed on it when I jumped in. Oops, oh well. It's the comeuppance for pushing my keys in to begin with. I apologize and squeeze some water out of the hem of my shirt. If Napoleon is slightly damp, I'm literally drenched here. Let's try playing with it. Why not? The cat seemed to like to play with the keys, and under safe conditions, I might dare to capitalize on that. I hold them by the cork and I dangle them above Napoleon's head. It doesn't cause much of a reaction. The cat just cocks its head and looks at me. Okay, so that doesn't work. I'll have to try to recreate the conditions it wanted to play in. I take one hard look. I take one hard last look at my keys and drop them on the ground, although making sure they aren't close to any edges. After looking at the keys for a moment, Napoleon reaches out a lazy paw and swats the keys a little closer to the water. Maybe Napoleon just likes to push things off edges. I could replace the keys with something else, but it would just end up littering, so I quit playtime then and there. It's getting late, so I should head home. I give Napoleon a wave and start to walk away. As the walk home turns out uneventful and my keys are safe in my pocket. I want to notify Roselle of this, so I head straight for her home. Cateau is snoozing lazily on her bed. I found my keys.
That's good.
Cateau spots me and jumps down from the bed to suck on my legs. Hey bud, you want some food?
No need, I've already fed it.
Alright then, no more food for you. I cuddle its cheeks and it seems pretty satisfied with that. The weather is supposed to be good tomorrow. Want to come with me on my walk? We might spot Bella.
We can't leave Cateau alone in any place. It's best I stay. But do check on it to make sure it's okay for me.
Of course, bien sûr. I leave her home, already pumped for my weekly walk. Weekly walk? Seems like it's a daily walk right now. As I go out for my Sunday stroll, I keep my eyes peeled for a certain Cateau. I'll most likely find it in its usual spot, but I don't trust it not to have moved. I see the tree in the distance and it grows closer as I walk. There is no kitten to be seen. I reach the corner and circle around the tree, but I can't see Bella. Maybe it actually got home. If that were to be the case, it would be great. A meow crushes my hopes and I look around, still not spotting it. The next meow I can tell comes from above and I look up. Bella looks down at me from a high up branch in the tree. Oh my goodness. What's it doing up there? It doesn't look very safe. I haven't climbed a tree in ages, but I did it some back in the day. Except for the first part, it looks a pretty easy climb. Let's see if we can get it come down or so. It isn't certain that Bella really is stuck, and it would be a shame to do anything risky if it wasn't necessary. I'll try and see if it will come down its own first. I stand next to the trunk and call to the kitten. Bella meows back and I see her moving its paws slightly but not moving far from the spot high up in this tree. After trying some more and giving the kitten some time, I figure it must actually be stuck. It's possible that it's just too scared of the people to come down, but when is Paris ever empty? I have to do something. It needs my help. Well, it's using raw power, baby. Okay, it's the wrong one. Huh. I walk up, look at the tree folk. It really is high up. With a small jump, I manage to grab the lower branch and I struggle up, kicking at the trunk. I grunt as I try to pull myself up with quite some effort, and in no way gracefully, I make it to the first fork. I've made it! I look up at the kitten. Am I imagining things, or is it even further up now? Maybe I should have been more careful. It looks like I scared it. Climb really slowly, oh boy. I really can't afford scaring it any further up the tree. Bella is already out on very thin twigs. With all of its claws, it's sticking to the wood, and I don't want it to let go of that grip before I can catch it. I slowly move to the next foothold and then pause there until Bella stops watching me. Then I advance to the next spot. It's very slowly going and my arms feel a bit tired, but eventually I reach the same height that Bella's at. The kitten, however, is just slightly too far away. I might be able to lean out and to grab it or possibly lure it closer. Let's coax it with food. I make sure I sit steadily on my branch and then carefully extract the treats from my pocket. I thought you threw all the treats in the river. If Bella has been up here for a while, it might be hungry. I reach out with a treat and I immediately see as the kitten's nose twitches as it's sniffing the air. You know you want it? Come take it. After a moment's hesitation, it comes closer, carefully making its way back along the thin branch. I lay my hand flat, and the kitten grabs the treats and devours it in seconds. It really is hungry. I feed it more treats, making it come a little closer each time before I grab the kitten with both hands and place it in my lap. I feed it the rest of the treats, and it eagerly eats every single one of them. It's hungry and a bit tired, but looks otherwise fine. And now comes the part where I have to get the both of us down safely. I reach for my bag. That's probably the best way to carry the kitten, as it keeps both of my hands free. Sorry, this will be over in a minute. I grab Bella and put it in the bag before placing it over my back again. After that, I begin my steady descent and I pull it off smoothly. When I reach the last fork in the tray, I drop down and make freeing Bella my top priority. I open up the bag and bring the kitten up in my arms. After a few seconds of being safe in my arms on the ground, the kitten falls asleep. I look at it curiously and stroke it gently over its back. It's almost surreal. Now I'm faced with what to do next. I've rescued Bella from the tray, but I don't want to let go of the kitten again. I don't want to be uncertain whether or not it has a warm place to sleep and food to eat. I'll take it home with me. We can look for its owner, and if we don't find anyone, Bella will stay with us. I'm sure Hall will be fine with it. She seemed happy to have Garfield with us. I text her that we're coming, however. I found Bella stuck in a tree, got it down, and is coming home with me.
Is it okay?
Tired, but otherwise fine. The kitten sleeps heavily all the way home, and inside our door, I find Roselle waiting.
How is it?
Still sleeping? We might want to prepare some food for it when it wakes up. Who knows for how long it was up there?
Poor thing. Must have been terrified.
Where's Garfield, by the way?
In my room. It's always uncertain how cats will react to each other when first meeting each other, so it's best to have them apart for now.
I'll take your word for it. I'll go say hi to Garfield. So why don't you take it for a little while? She nods and I hand over the kitten, both careful to not wake it up. She looks softly at the kitten and I feel the need to give them space, leaving to hide away next to Garfield. Sometime later. It didn't take much to get Bella and Garfield acquainted. Garfield is just too lovable of a cat, while Bella is young and curious, willing to give everything a chance. The kitten has regained its confidence and has become the playful, cheerful young cat it was always meant to be. Thanks to Garfield always watching over it. The two of them chase after me as I head to Rose's room, and I knock before entering.
Hey Max, what's up?
Coming in with my entourage. How was the lecture?
It was alright, I suppose. Spent more time doodling in my notebook than taking notes, however.
Well, ain't that a university in a nutshell? She and I both chuckle.
Oh yeah, sure is. That and overpriced course literature. It's too nice outside to stay in here all day. I'm done with my studio work, so why don't we head out and grab ice cream or something?
That sounds like an idea I can get behind.
Then let's go, on y va!
We headed carefully through the door, so that our two little followers doesn't come with us on our walk. We decide to get them something good as well, since the two of them share a fondness of food. Bella's just a little less picky. Ro and I chat and laugh, reminding me of the good old days. There's just a bit more cats in the conversation, or maybe it's just that I pay attention to it that now. That was Cateau. I missed a cat. Ah, well, that was nice. That was a very cute game, exactly as described. It had a great atmosphere, had some great cats. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining tonight on tonight's Let's Play and Narrate Cateau, free on Steam. You can find it in the link below in the description. Join us on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, where we begin on our journey into the Alaskan Klondike, as described by Jack London in The Call of the Wild. That is a new book series starting on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining again. Have a great rest of the evening. Bye-bye.